Happy Tuesday! It wouldn't be early morning without a little coffee and chaga elixir. That's what I'm drinking this morning. I've got Cafe Bustelo, an old favorite of mine, and some of the Four Sigmatics chaga elixir. Really loving that stuff. And of course, Totoro is joining us as per usual. Now, as you can tell from the title and thumbnail of today's video, I'm going to be doing a highly requested review for you guys, particularly from those of you in the United Kingdom. You wanted to know my thoughts on the wonderful Dr. Sam's Flawless Cleanser. She is a cosmetic dermatologist based in London, and she makes wonderful videos here on YouTube. So Dr. Sam actually reached out to me on Instagram and offered to send this to me. I'm not sponsored by Dr. Sam. She didn't expect me to review it. I'm not an affiliate of Dr. Sam. She was just kind enough to send it to me. So that's how I got it. She was just nice and sent it to me to try out for you all. There was no expectation to do a review, but I am really happy to review it for you guys today because I have really been loving her cleanser and I think it's phenomenal. Just off the bat, just to cut to the chase, it is a wonderful cleanser. I'll talk a little bit about the salient ingredients in this and what it is helpful for, and I'll show you how to use it. She also has a video, which I'll list down below, demonstrating how to use the product as well. Very helpful. As far as ingredients, if you'll recall back to my cleanser ingredient video, I talked about kind of the main ingredient in cleansers and how they work is by employing surfactants. Surfactants are things that have both a water-loving part and a dirt oil-loving part. And so the dirt oil-loving part latches onto our makeup, our water-resistant sunscreen, sebum oil, all of that gunk. And the water-loving part then can mix with water and be rinsed away. So it makes for allowing things to be washed off the skin, basically. Surfactants can be very drying, they can be very irritating, they can disrupt cell membranes and be very harsh. For people with sensitive skin and rosacea in particular, the journey to find cleansers that do not sting, burn, precipitate a flare of rosacea can be quite challenging, and I think this is a good one for you to consider. The surfactant in this is a synthetic surfactant called Paloxamer 188. I don't find it that often actually in many skincare products, but it is wonderful. It is a synthetic surfactant that has both a water-loving part and a dirt and oil-loving part. It doesn't have any charge to it, so it's non-irritating on skin cells. Paloxamers are also great in that they actually can kind of help skin cells or cells in general repair their membranes after they've been insulted. If you'll recall back to many of my other videos where I've talked about burning and stinging in the skin and sensitive skin, when we cleanse our skin, when we get the skin wet, water is actually an irritant and can disrupt some of the cell membranes on our skin cells and really lead to irritation. But paloxamers are nice in that not only are they a surfactant, but they also kind of buffer the cell surface a little bit and help it to resist that aggressive insult to the membrane. They are not only added to a lot of personal care products, they are also added to like a lot of things that we ingest, medications. So not only are they surfactants, but they also function to help put key ingredients into solution. They are also what is added to blood products. So when you get a blood transfusion, paloxamers are added to the blood. I say when you get a blood transfusion, like we're all getting them, but God forbid, should you need a blood transfusion, paloxamers are added oftentimes to decrease the viscosity of the blood product to prevent it from kind of clumping up a little bit. They're very safe. When in skincare products, they're not going to absorb systemically, but obviously if they're adding them to blood products, they're very safe during pregnancy, and incredibly gentle. I'd love to see them in more cleansers out there. I really don't come across them that often. So this is a phenomenal surfactant for people with sensitive skin types to consider in their cleanser. So the paloxamer is kind of the key functional ingredient in this. Many of the other ingredients in this, such as PEG 6 caprylic capric glycerides, PEG 7 glyceryl cocoate. Those sound like long, complicated names, but really they're synthetic derivatives of a lot of times coconut oil and glycerin with PEG or polyethylene glycol to allow them to be water soluble. They are in many skincare products and they function as thickeners and emulsifiers. If active ingredient is needed in a product, they help that active ingredient stay in the product in such a manner to be accessible and an effective dose or concentration. But here they're added, I suspect, largely to thicken the product up, to add appeal, and to actually make it something that you can put on your face. So they kind of have mechanical function outside of skin cleansing or skin health. They really just make the product usable on your skin. This also has aloe juice extract in it, which can be very soothing, moisturizing, and depending on the extract, I believe it's aloe leaf juice powder that is used. Also can contain bioactive compounds that can impart a brightening effect to the skin. This also has allantoin in it, which is very moisturizing and soothing on the skin. It is really wonderful. I am a fan of this cleanser. It does not, like I said, it does not have fragrance. It does not have alcohol in it. It does not have menthol or anything that is going to sting, burn, tingle, none of those things that a lot of products use that can be problematic. This is really logically formulated. This does not have parabens in it, and check out my paraben video if you're at all confused about those. But it does have some, other preservatives in it, which is great because you want preservatives in cleansers, water-based things, gels. They prevent bacteria from colonizing them. So she has, I believe, disodium EDTA is in here, as well as tocopherol, which is vitamin E, and sodium hydroxymethylglycinate. So wonderful preservatives, not problematic. Very, very, very logical ingredient list. The way to use this product, after viewing her tutorial, it's interesting. So I'll just show you how I use it. I've exclusively been using it at night as kind of my sunscreen and sunscreen remover. I don't wear much makeup, as you all know. My makeup is largely just the water-resistant mascara that I wear. So really you need, for removing heavy sunscreen applications or like heavy makeup at the end of the day, you need 2 pumps of the product. And you can see, you put it on the skin and it sticks on there almost like a gelatin. And Dr. Sam does this routine where she dots it on her face, I think in like 13 different points. But I couldn't be that fastidious. I just kind of glommed some clumps here and there, but it does stay on your skin while you're putting it all over your face. You put it on a wet face or a slightly damp face, and then you just massage it in gentle circles to begin breaking up the dirt and oil and allowing that Poloxamer 188 to start to mix with all the gunk on your face so that it can take it off. And she stipulates doing this for a full minute, which makes some sense to me because the Poloxamers, they actually exhibit thermodependent properties as far as their gelling. So, they're able to be in a gel kind of consistency in the product, but as you kind of warm it up gently with your fingers and rubbing it on your face, they start to disperse more evenly onto the surface of your face and begin to micro-encapsulate all that gunk on your face. So that is a very logical approach to doing it. Be very gentle with the rubbing. Don't go using one of those scrub brushes or spin brushes, none of that nonsense. Just like she says, very logically, just use your finger pads. You can use this around the eyes, and overall it is a wonderful, wonderful makeup remover, I would say. While I don't wear makeup, I wear a lot of water-resistant sunscreen, which is equally tenacious as many makeups, and I also wear a lot of tinted sunscreens that this takes off swimmingly. They are likewise water-resistant, and this takes these off well. This product, though, will not take off your water-resistant mascara completely. She does mention that on the site, that you do need a separate product for removing mascara. And I'm just showing you here in how I used it that this one time I tried to take off my water-resistant Maybelline mascara with just the cleanser, and it actually does a decent job of it, but you do need to rub at the eyelashes, which is not ideal. So, you know, I agree, and I was able to get off my mascara by first using just plain mineral oil or one of the Japanese oil cleansers that I use to break up my mascara on my face before rinsing it off. But overall, this does a wonderful job of taking off the makeup. Then you just rinse it off, and the funny thing is your face does not feel dry at all. It almost feels like you have just moisturized after you finished cleansing your face with this. It is wonderful for oily skin types. It's not going to clog your pores, exacerbate acne. This is a very logical way for you to take your makeup off at the end of the day to keep your acne from getting worse from inadequate removal of that. So this is wonderful, not going to cause irritation, stinging, burning, any of that. Fantastic. Did a really logical approach to formulating this, and I love it and have been enjoying it. She says to use it twice a day. You know, the jury's still out on whether or not you need to cleanse your face twice a day. I don't. There's no active ingredient in this that is going to necessarily treat anything. The active ingredient in this functions to remove dirt, oil, and makeup. So for me, you know, I don't wear a lot of makeup. I take it off at the end of the day, and the next morning, you know, I didn't get dirty in my sleep, so I don't really feel compelled to use it again. I do use 2 pumps of it, like she indicates, at night to take off my water-resistant sunscreen, and I find that works phenomenally. You can also use this in the shower. That's my preferred location to wash my face, because I'm already in there getting wet and exposed to water, so better to reduce the number of water exposures to the skin, since water is an irritant. So that's how I've been using it, and I think it works fantastic. You may be curious as to how this compares to other gel cleansers like those in the drugstore, specifically the Simple Micellar Gel Hydrating Gel Cleanser, which I've used and love. It's a great one. I also love the Aveeno Hydrating Gel Cleanser. I'm forgetting what its entire name is, but I'll list it down below. Those are great. This is an entirely different, almost an entirely different concept, in that once you, unlike those first of all, those lather. You will experience some lather with that. You will experience some foam with that. This has no foam, no lather, and this almost feels like you are, just like I said, it feels like you are just rubbing a gentle moisturizer over your face. And so it's an entirely different experience. It's an entirely different mechanism of removing dirt, oil, and makeup with that poloxamer, in that not only is it a surfactant, but it also has that property of soothing the cell membranes. Those other cleansers from the drugstore that are likewise great don't have that property. So this is unique and uniquely serves the needs of people with dry, irritated, sensitive skin. In fact, I'm kind of surprised. Yes, I do agree that it's a wonderful cleanser for oily prone skin types, but I'm a little surprised that she is less hyping it towards the dry, sensitive skin types. She did mention she herself has sensitive skin and you know, a tendency towards redness, maybe a little stinging and burning, and that, you know, that she formulated it with that in mind as well. But I think with that particular ingredient, this really has the potential to serve people who are on the journey to find a cleanser that does not sting, burn, and worsen their sensitive skin, their rosacea, lead to flushing and exacerbation of rosacea symptoms. So I imagine that you will be well served by this. And again, no fragrance, no menthol, none of those rosacea offenders in there. This product is cruelty-free, no animal testing. It is vegan. It also is gluten-free if you happen to have a gluten allergy and find that using gluten-containing skincare products somehow exacerbates skin problems. As far as availability, the cleanser currently, as it stands now, is only available to people in the UK and the EU. My understanding is that Dr. Sam wants to keep it direct to consumer and control distribution of her product, which I think is very smart, to eliminate confusion or middleman or ambiguity and potential adulterated products out there. I think that's a very smart approach. The cleanser costs £16. And you also have to pay shipping and handling. She has those rates on her site. Unless you happen to live in London, I guess maybe you could pop over to her clinic. Maybe she has an inventory there as well. I'm not entirely clear, but you would have to pay shipping and handling. So under 30 US dollars, you know, somewhere around 25 bucks with shipping. But again, not yet available in the United States, not yet available internationally outside of the UK and the EU. But I do think she is planning at some juncture to have her product more widely available internationally in the United States as well. So stay tuned for that. I think you can sign up for emails from her. You know, she also has a blog, which is wonderful. And as a dermatologist, you know, a dermatologist formulated cleanser, dermatologist tested, and dermatologist approved. Dr. Sam, you can actually put that on your label now and not be lying to people like all the other cleansers out there. Dermatologist did test this, and I do approve. It is wonderful. I highly recommend it. She did a great job coming up with this, and I look forward to seeing more from her as far as the moisturizers and the sunscreens and whatever else comes out of her line. And you know, you guys who are curious about this, strongly recommend. But thank you everyone who requested this review, and again, thank you Dr. Sam for sending it to me. That was very kind of you, and I love it and intend to continue using it. I think you created a phenomenal product, and I hope this review was helpful to you guys out there. Again, I will list her website down below, as well as a link to her YouTube video showing you how to use it. And I hope my video was helpful in explaining the ingredients and what I think of it from an outside, unbiased perspective, not sponsored, not affiliated, another dermatologist. I really like it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.